What is going on, everyone? On today's episode, we are making the electric trays for both bikes. So for the first bike, which is going to be the 81, we have more of a flat seat. So this is going to be crucial to get right, because I'm not going to have as much room in terms of having a hump like the 79 does for the battery. So I made the cardboard cutouts for the seat. So what I'm saying is I can't just have the metal sit right on top of the tube, frame tube, or the hoop, if you want to call it. It needs to be kind of more so at the bottom. The only thing is I don't want to be able to see a tube from underneath. I want it to have a very clean look. So that's going to be the challenge for today. On the 79, I'm not worried about that. I can have the plate or the tray up top, because I'm going to have a more of a thicker hump in the back to be able to put the battery. The other components are fairly skinny. The seat will be covering most of them. So first of all, we're going to have to mark this out on the sheet metal I have here. Now, I didn't get sheet metal big enough. In hindsight, I don't know. I guess I should have. It's not a big deal, because we're actually gonna have to cut it anyway, because I'm gonna put in a rectangular piece of metal here for strength. So that's gonna go pretty much across where these shocks are mounted, and then we're gonna have one big rectangular piece, and the back will have the cutout for the hoop in the back. So let's get started. I'm gonna start marking where I want the cuts at, and then we're gonna go on from there. Okay, so I have both pieces marked out. We're gonna go over to the vise and just simply cut these out. And then obviously, like I said, I'm gonna have a rectangular piece here. I'm thinking of just making these two pieces first, and then worrying about which one I'm gonna shorten. I'm probably gonna shorten this one, and then we'll just go from there. Alright, so before I make any more corrections to the two plate pieces that I cut, I'm going to take the flap disc and just really smooth out the mating surfaces to the electric tray, because I want it to be pretty tight. I want the fit to be really good. It's not going to be perfect because of my lack of talent and tools and whatnot. The vise isn't even bolted down, so things are not going to be perfect. But to make it as perfect as possible, I'm going to clean this up now because imagine I make everything super tight on the plates, and then I go and do this last. That might cause a little bit of a tiny gap that can translate into a big shift in play and whatnot. So I'm going to clean up the surfaces here, and then continue mocking up or correcting the two pieces of metal. And then after that, I'm gonna have to measure out and cut the support brace for here. Alright, got everything cleaned up. So what I was saying in the beginning, since this tray is gonna be, or this seat is gonna be flat because the hoop is flat, I'm not gonna have as much wiggle room for the electronics. So I need the tray to be as low as possible without being able to see it from the side. Again, on the 79, that's not an issue because we're gonna have a bigger hump, and I'm mainly worried about the battery. So this needs to sit as low as possible. Kind of like that, but not as low. So it's a little thick here around the tube, so I need to cut this a little more. So that's that. So that's the depth, pretty much the depth. So that's what it would look like. Imagine another piece of metal there. Cool. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to keep grinding and making sure it fits. Go back to grinding, make things smooth. I'll just put on a time lapse. Tonight we'll probably at least get some tack welds in to hold this. guys, so here is the semi-finished product. Structurally, they are sound. Aesthetically, the work is not that pretty, so I still gotta do some grinding. I gotta fill in some areas, some gaps. Here's the other guy. But like I said, structurally they are sound. There's still like low spots I gotta fill in, maybe use some type of filler. This is not for strength. This is just some low spots, but that is what they kind of look like. So I'm probably gonna disassemble the bikes now. That is it for this episode. In the next episode, we will probably either send the frames off to powder coat, and then figure out motor stuff, or maybe mock up the electrics, and maybe mock up a seat and start building the seat, and then send the frames off for powder coat. But let me get on with finishing this aspect of the build. Stay tuned.